Wonderspaced explorers, welcome to the Wonderspaced show with Miss Natalie.
In a place you want to discover, there's so much to uncover. Are you an explorer? Yes! Then join us on an adventure. All you need to do is
Look closely, think carefully,
solve many problems.
wait, that's not all.
We are the Wonderspaced explorers.
We create things big or small and beautiful.
We are WONDERFUL. We are wonderful.
La 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 la.
Wonderspace.
Oh, hello. I'm sure you're wondering, what's Miss Natalie wearing today? Does anyone know what this outfit is called? That's right, Kente. Okay, so I need your help. Can you help me describe this outfit? What colors can you see? Purple and lime green. That's right. Now I need your help again. What shapes can you see? Are there any unique shapes on this outfit? Can you spot the difference? This is also Kente, but it's different colors and it has different patterns. Can you help me spot the colors? Yes, we have orange, green, yellows, blue. Did I miss anything? Okay, so can you help me spot some shapes on this Kente? We have some stripes, we have connected rectangles, we have zigzag lines, and many more. I'm sure you're wondering, where do I get all these lovely outfits? My grandma gives us Kente on special occasions. Guess what? Kente is usually worn during special occasions like weddings, engagements, and festivals, traditional festivals. Kente is very special. Many years ago, Kente was reserved for leaders and other special people like the Asante and other chiefs. So the different kinds of Kente have special meanings. This outfit means something different from what I wore before. Do you remember the green and purple outfit I wore? We'll find out a little later what the different types of Kente mean. Wait, what did you say? Did you say that there's a spider behind me? I don't really like spiders. Oh, okay. I'll tell you why the spider is there. But now we need to learn about the history and origin of Kente, and then I'll tell you why the spider is next to me. I'm still scared though. I have the perfect book to teach us about the history and origin of Kente. Now this book is titled Kente for a King. This story was first told by Angela Christian, and it was retold by Kathy Knowles, and it was illustrated by Edmond Opare. Many years ago, in the kingdom of Ashanti, there lived a powerful king. He was a fearless warrior, brave in battle, and respected by his followers. The king's people were skilled in metalwork, carving, and weaving. No one could match the quality of the gold weights they cast, the stools they carved, or the cloths they wove. Bonre was the weaving center of the Ashanti kingdom. According to legend, Kurugu and Ameyao, two brothers from this village, went into the forest to hunt. They saw a spider weaving a beautiful web. So that's why you saw the spider next to me. Kurugu, the senior brother, said, "If a little spider can make such a lovely design, we should be able to do the same." The two brothers returned to Bonre and wove special cloths using black and white fibers from the raffia palm tree. They named these cloths Kente after Kenten, the Akan word for basket, and presented them to their king. The king was very pleased. As the years passed, the king grew tired of wearing only black and white kentes, so he called the royal weavers of Bonre together. He showed them the many fine cloths they had woven and congratulated them. "But," said the king, "if you want to please me even more, could you weave kente cloth using different colors? The weavers wanted to satisfy the king, but how could they weave a cloth made of many colors when all they had was black and white yarn? Opoku, one of the best weavers, had an idea. We are surrounded by many different trees and plants. We could get different colored dyes by pounding their barks and roots and grinding their seeds. The weavers did so and were happy with the colors they produced: gold, green, and red. Do I have some of those colors in my kente? Yes, I do. When each of them had woven a colored kente, they set out once again for the king's palace in Kumasi. At the palace, their leader spoke. "O king, our king, great is our joy, for now we have woven colored kentes for you." The king replied, "My people, my dear people, you have truly pleased me today. How colorful and beautiful are the kentes you have woven." The king removed his black and white kente and put on the brightly colored one made by Opoku. The weavers rejoiced and returned to Bonre to weave more beautiful kentes for their beloved king. Wow, what beautifully colored kente. Can you see the golds, reds, and greens? Actually, does it look a bit like what I'm wearing? I can see some similar patterns. Can you see the zigzags? I have that in my outfit as well. What about the stripes? I have stripes in my outfit as well. Ooh, I'm matching with the king. Now I'm going to pause here and we're going to talk about what we've read so far. There's some very important things that I want us to notice. When we started the story, we heard a word Bonre. Now Bonre is a town in the Ashanti region and is known as the weaving center of the Ashanti kingdom. We also learnt about the legend of the brothers who saw the spider weaving a beautiful web. So these brothers were inspired by a spider. Wow. In the story, we also learnt about the origin of the word kente, which comes from the Akan word kenten, which means basket. I'm going to stop here now. We've learned so much about kente just from a part of this story. But guess what? Now we're going to meet a real kente weaver and we're going to see how kente is made. Are you ready for our adventure? Woo! Yes! Hello Wonderspaced explorers, can you guess where we are? We are at the workshop of an amazing kente weaver known as Mr. Samuel Bampo. What's behind me? This is known as a loom, and we're going to see Mr. Samuel do some amazing kente prints on this loom. What do we have here? Look at how long this is. This is known as the warp, and it's lots and lots and lots and lots of thread. There can be about 300 different strands of thread, and they're usually grouped in about 5 different groups. Imagine working with 300 strands of thread. Whoa! Can you see all the different colors? What colors can you see? That's right, red, green, blue, yellow. If you look very carefully, you can see the pattern forming. What's a pattern? Now we see patterns everywhere. You can see patterns in your house, you can see patterns on your clothes. Anywhere you look, you might find some patterns. Now in this strip of kente, Mr. Samuel is carefully forming the patterns through repetition. Now the patterns are repeating. If we look carefully, we can see a symbol of a stool and we can see different stripes. We can see green, gold or yellow and red stripes. Can you see him working on the stool right now? What color is a stool? That's right, yellow. Can you see his feet and his hands moving? It must be a lot of work and it must take a lot of concentration and focus to make sure that your hands are moving and your feet are moving. As Mr. Samuel is working, he's constantly solving problems. He has to make sure that the thread doesn't tangle up. He has to make sure that the pattern isn't ruined. So he's always problem solving as he's working. And as you can see, he's still concentrating. Each strip of Kente is about 4 inches wide, or it can be 5 inches. Do you know what 4 or 5 inches looks like on a ruler? Let's take a look at all the amazing items in Mr. Samuel's baskets. We have all the colorful thread, yellow, green, blue, so colorful. And we have a shuttle. This is what he uses to weave the patterns through his strip of Kente. Can you see Mr. Samuel's special measuring stick? It doesn't look like what we see at school, but he's able to use this to measure all his different strips of Kente. Let's take a close look at this ruler. In Chi, it's called susudia, which means measuring stick. What do we have here? It almost looks like a fossil, doesn't it? This is wax. Mr. Samuel uses this on his thread. Now he uses the wax to smoothen out the thread to make it easier for him to weave, and it makes it faster as well. There are some interesting instruments in this basket. Most of the items in Mr. Samuel's basket and his loom are made of wood. This particular stick is made of bamboo, and they wrap the thread around the bamboo sticks. Wow, can you tell? This is exactly what Mr. Samuel was weaving on his loom. Now he weaves individual strips and then they stitch it together to make a large piece of cloth. Okay, Mr. Samuel, please, what do you call this fabric? So this is known as a busian yadum. So this particular Kente cloth talks about the importance of family and how important family is to society. How beautiful. This is so wonderful, Mr. Samuel. And Mr. Samuel, this outfit I'm wearing here, what's this Kente called?
Fatia Fata Nkrumah.
Okay, so wow, this is known as Fatia Fata Nkrumah. Fatia Fata Nkrumah. That was amazing! We learned so much about how Kente is made. We saw the loom. We met a wonderful Kente weaver, Mr. Samuel Bampo. He taught us so much about how Kente is made. And now I want to see how much you remember. Remember when we spoke about how the different types of Kente cloths have different meanings, special meanings? Do you remember when I wore this outfit? Yes. And do you remember what Mr. Samuel Bampo told us about this outfit? Do you really? Yes, it's known as Fatia Fata Nkrumah. That's a really long name, isn't it? We're going to learn about why this cloth has such a long name. Let's take a close look at the names within the name. So we're going to talk about Nkrumah first. Now, does everyone know who Nkrumah is? Nkrumah was the first president of Ghana. And he had a beautiful wife named Fatia. Fatia was from Egypt. Now, Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, asked the chief weaver to weave a special kind of Kente for his wife, which became known as Fatia Fata Nkrumah, which means Fatia, his wife, was a good fit or a perfect fit for Kwame Nkrumah. Over the years, the name of this cloth has changed. Some people may call it Obakofu Muman, which means one person doesn't rule a nation. So remember I said all the different cloths have special meanings. Some of the meanings may be a little hard to understand, but they are very important meanings as well. You've all done such an amazing job learning new things about Kente, the history of Kente, how Kente is made. You met a Kente weaver called Mr. Samuel Bampo. Now, I want us to do a little thinking. What can we learn from a Kente weaver like Mr. Samuel? Well, we can learn how to focus and concentrate. Did you see how he was focused and moving his hands really quickly? We can learn how to focus. Where do we need to focus? We might need to focus in class, when we're reading, when we're doing our homework, maybe when we're riding our bicycles. We need to learn to focus. And I think we can learn that from a Kente weaver. We can also learn how to work with color. Did you see how he was able to combine different colors together so wonderfully? We can learn how to use different colors, how different colors work together, and how we can put different patterns together. There's so much we can learn from a Kente weaver. And finally, we can learn how to solve problems. Mr. Bampo is constantly solving problems as he's weaving, focusing, making sure that all those little strings don't get tangled together. He's constantly solving problems as he's working. And so in class, you may have issues with handwriting, math, or English, but remember, you can always solve problems just like Kente weavers are constantly solving problems. Now it's time for our activity. I need your help. We're going to put our hand in this basket and see, are we going to have an art activity or a science experiment? Stirring the pots. We have an art activity. Remember, Wonderspaced explorers are creative. It's time to get creative. For this activity, we're going to make Kente with paper. So you're going to need card, strips of paper, different colors. You can have yellow, blue, purple, green, all the different colors we saw with our Kente. You need a ruler, scissors, markers, and glue. Now you might need an adult to help you with the scissors and cutting. Do you have your rulers ready? Great! Now you need to draw a line close to the top part of your paper. Can you see what I'm drawing? Now you might need an adult to help you with this part. You need to draw points at 1-inch intervals. Next, you go down to the bottom of your paper and you do the same thing. Now, I'm going to draw lines that connect the dots at the top to the dots at the bottom. I'm sure you can draw very straight lines with your ruler. Now it's time for the cutting. Remember I said you might need an adult to help you with this part. I'm cutting all the lines that I drew carefully. I'm sure you are good at cutting too. Woohoo! Can you shake yours out just like I'm doing? Now you need to take your strips of paper. First, I'm going to go under and over, under and over, under and over. It can be a little tricky, but you'll figure it out. Under and over. So I'm going to use some glue to make sure that my strip of paper doesn't move from where it is right now. Now I'm going to take my yellow strip of paper and notice I'm going to go in a different direction now. I'm going over and under, over and under, over and under, over and under. will start to look a bit like a checkerboard or a chessboard. And once again, I'm using glue to make sure that my strips stay in place. I'm sure you're getting the hang of this. Now remember, with Kente, it's very important that you follow a pattern. So I have green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red. So we have green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red. Now I'm going to try and copy the patterns in this cloth. I'm going to imitate the zigzag lines. Now on my yellow strips, I'm going to draw some geometric shapes. I'm going to draw the little rectangles or squares. And I'm going to try and copy the stripes. Now, as you can tell, I'm not copying it exactly like it is on the Fatia, Fata and Nkrumah cloth. I'm changing it a little bit. I'm using the cloth as inspiration. What patterns are you going to choose? Remember, whatever you choose, you need to use geometric shapes, and you can use different lines, bold lines. Now, repetition is very important when we're working with patterns. So as you can see, I'm repeating the same patterns for my green strips. We have the zigzag lines on the green strip. We have our interconnected squares on our yellow strips, and we have our stripes on our red strips. And I'm going to keep doing that until it fills my paper. It can be lots and lots of fun working on these patterns. I'm absolutely enjoying myself. Yay, we are done! I'm sure your work will be much better than mine. I can't wait to see your own paper Kente. You can feel free to choose your own colors and your own patterns. But remember, when you're drawing the different shapes for the patterns, remember to pick geometric shapes and remember to use repetition. Woohoo! Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had fun and I hope you learned a lot. Now, before we go, I want you to always remember that you are wonderful. Wonderspaced explorers are wonderful. And remember to join us next time. Bye!